continuation from Panoka last day with Kaylee on what I'm trying to get across to these horses and how I have a program and what I do within the program to make it all work. Again, it's about getting this connection right here, and what I'd really like to stress when I get outside in the arena over there is on how my body drives them around and drives them up into the rein, and how I can get this mouth soft. Because you're going to see it today, because I went through it yesterday a little bit with this horse, is that I am trying so hard to get them soft. And so if I could get that same roundness with movement by pushing on a rib in order to get them, if I could carry this horse into a barrel, like with that much arc and with a certain softness with my hands, then this shoulder will stay up. So let's just say that we were going to gauge softness to be in real soft is a positive 10, 0 is in between, and negative 10 is real hard. So there's a feel here of where I'm at. So like right there, I would have to say that horse was probably about a 4. All right, so here started out at a 4 and went to about a 7. In order for that to happen, you guys know as well as I do that you have to have them soft up here in the mind. There is no way that I am going to get that kind of softness if this horse is uptight or scared. That head's going to be tipped that way, them ribs are going to be towards me, and this here, which I need to come to me, is not going to happen when they are stiff mentally. Okay? As yesterday when I was riding this horse out there, is that as I'm driving her around and I'm at the stage now where she's not running off and I've got her quiet, like I probably never got much done. Like, did I get a % better? Probably. I was looking for 10 or 15% and I didn't get it. The human wants to get aggressive after that. And when you get aggressive, this gets uptight, and now you're out there for an extra half an hour trying to get them to do this with some speed, and it ain't happening because this is tight, the mental part. All right? So my job is I know, is to try and keep this horse as quiet as I can, so when I've got movement out there, that I can try and push with this foot and run her up into that rein and get her to get soft, right? If I get that softness going this way, and then I get this softness going this way, and I'm going to bring this name up. And I seen this girl, Raelle Little, run the other day, and I really watched her there at the CBHI on what was going on with her hands and her body. And I mean, she run that horse through the gate pretty hard, kind of got into the pocket there, pulled back on them reins a little bit, horse come back to her, went up into the pocket, curled her body around the barrel, went to the next barrel. You have to have them horses quiet in the mind in order for that to happen. You are not going to run up there to a barrel and be able to pull on them reins and rate that horse back if you've never tried to get that softness in your practice. And it needs to go day in and day out, where you have them horses where they trust you, and then you can get them soft physically. You're not going to get them soft physically if you don't get them soft mentally. So that's my little talk here. And then I'm going to do, and again, I wanted to throw this in here to you guys because I have a girl on social media where when she was messing with this softness right here, she was just kind of going like this, trying to get this horse to look around on the ground, right? So if she watches this video, watch how I'm 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, oh, there we go, right? So again, let me tell you people about the Pavlovian theory again, is that you ring the bell and feed the dog the steak. Pretty soon, when you ring the bell, a little while later, the saliva starts coming down and the steak's still in the freezer. That's what this all start, what you guys never see me do. But see how this here was designed. See how that bends here, and it bends here, and it bends here, and it bends here. So as I see, I'm pulling this, I'm ringing the bell. And then pretty soon I get down there and I ring, then I go through the phases. You know, that softness right there was probably a 0. Wasn't very good. Again, remember, positive 10 is real soft, negative 10 is real hard. So I'm always measuring, you know, real hard again. Okay, and it gets a little soft there. All right, so again, this girl, if she watches this, watch how my elbow's up here and it pulls the slack out. So this comes, see, because that's weighted. See, it's weighted so this horse feels it coming, right? And that's how this horsemanship starts, is that as you exaggerate to teach and you refine as you go along. Yeah, when I'm riding, my hands are wide apart. And as time goes along, I get my hands to where I can get a little joystick right here in the middle. That might be 2-3 years down the road. But that's where it all starts, is right here with the signal. Them big bits that you guys see hanging in the Western store that the working cow horse guys have, or what do they call them? I can't think of the name of them. Anyways, them are called signal bits because there's that big fancy looking bit, and then there's a little kind of a S that connects the chain to the leather, and then the leather goes to your hands. Them are weighted, and that's what these halters were made, that same kind of weight thing going to where it would hinge and this horse feels this coming. So I know when it gets into competing that you know, lots of people are in such a hurry that, probably have you already turned this video off because it's boring you, right? Because it's not the guts. But this is where it starts, right? So that's that part for that girl that I seen wasn't flexing her horse very good. The other part is that, remember, before you rub, the friendly game is before and after everything you do. So she was just walking up here and she was just going like that right away, and on her horse it didn't seem to matter, but on this horse, if you don't rub first, he's gonna probably lift a leg at you or whatever, because she's all there, right? So rub first. Move them hind quarters around, move the forward quarters around. Right, go sideways, nice. All right, so you guys have all seen these games, and I'm not going to bore you with them. I'm going to shut this camera off again. Here's this other one that I put on last night. So I'm going to have to use this tool right here. And so I need to get them quiet with this tool, right? But here's the other thing that another girl that I'd friends with, and I seen her doing a little training on a horse, and she had her horse tied. She had the first saddling of her horse, and a picture on Facebook. Horse was tied solid, first saddling, and that's fine. Obviously, she got away with it. But what's going to happen is that because this horse probably isn't very soft to the shank like this right here, Right? This is a must for me. This is my other than my hands being on my horse, I'm doing the friendly game like this at first. I need this draw. I want this horse coming towards me, right? To where see? Now understand, guys, too, that if this horse backs up, is that everything behind here drives him forward, and everything from here drives him backwards. So when this horse rears back, goes that way, this is still behind the drive zone out here, right? In this area. So this here is just trying to reach behind and get this horse to come just like that to me. See, that's landing out there behind the withers and getting this horse to come forward. So I want my horse real soft on the shank, but like that girl had that horse tied hard and fast. What if just for whatever reason, that horse is gonna spook because it's green, and then it leans on this here, it breaks the halter shank. If it doesn't flip over backwards and maybe break its neck, which that happens a lot, yeah, just out of people not understand. I don't tie my horses up for probably for a long time, but here's especially on a panel. Like, see how I wrap this around? You can get close here. So see how I do the pull test? Oh, that's not enough. Right, and go one more down here like this, which you shouldn't tie to a panel anyways. But see, now I do my pull test and I'm like, okay, I could probably go and to the house and get a drink of water or whatever and come back, and I mean, it might be out to there when I get back, but at least it didn't, you know, pull back, flip over backwards, break its neck, but again, here's the thing, is that I'm wanting these horses right on, they gotta be soft right here. And they feel that, I'm sure, in the colt start right off the bat with this thing here pulling. And that bothers them. And you have to desensitize them to that, right? To where, see how now, there. So you just teach them to give the pressure, right? Because that same pressure is going to be in them reins when you get up top. It's gonna matter. All right, so we're gonna flip the camera off. I'm gonna finish my games, and then we'll turn it back on when I hop on the back, and we'll talk about how we carry this mental mind up onto the back so I can soften them lips to where day by day by day, 40 days later, I could run them down the arena and quit pushing with my body and pulling them reins and get it hind end to get underneath it and be athletic. All right? Looking for her, up that nose and put slack on that inside rein. Only way that's going to happen is she gets soft in the mind. Gets a chance to think. You have to think her way off of that. Day by day by day. And I am her coach. And I try and coach her into a percent a day. Getting off of that bridle. A day. What will I have in 100 days if I get a percent a day getting her off that bridle?
100%.
100%. I've never shook hands with anybody 100 days later the way their horse is 100% softer. Never. Weigh that out. Percent better. again, somebody asked me the other day, this is lateral flexion. Lateral flexion gets vertical flexion. So one rein at a time, and then, so now we're going for vertical, but being we're in a circle, I just got her in a little bit of an arc. Got her head tied in a little bit of an arc. Watch her bobbing her nose, like she's quiet enough in the mind. She's like, how do I get off that bridle? Okay, so I'm going to talk to you folks as this is going on. You know, here's the thing that we see this different than the horse. We're all of whatever age and growing up and been taught what the bridle, what the bit is for and what it does. Basically, it's supposed to make them go left, right, forwards, backwards, and whoa. We know that, but these horses don't know that. So it's our job to seduce this bridle, this bit, into doing the maneuvers that we need this bit to do. You have to seduce that in there. You can't force it in there. So I'm seducing this horse into getting off this bridle. And then when I can get her off the bridle, I can start to teach her things, because when I get her on the bridle, I'm going to need a body part to move. But if you're not careful and you show them how to get on the bridle before you teach them how to get off the bridle, then you can't never let go of them to then take a hold of them to show the maneuver. Hopefully that could be understood. We have to seduce this into them. This takes, 90 days of seducing this bridle, this bit, into what it's for and what it's supposed to do, what you expect them to do with it. Ooh. Job. Any questions there, Shelby, as you're being the camera girl and you can put it on camera? What do you want answered?
So what if someone wants to work on their horse with that, but the horse like fights having their head tied down? Well, not really tied down, but kind of set down like that. Do they just kind of work through it? Or do the games?
See, that's
all builds from the games.
That's all builds into it. Now, the first time I tied her head around, I'll guarantee you, I probably didn't have it tied that much.
Right.
One rein, right? And then I might have done that for, just enough for a day or two or three, just to make sure, right? And then the next day I get a little bit braver and, I get it tied around, that much. Right?
So what if someone's trying to practice and their horse's back end keeps moving on them and they're chasing them in circles, like just the basic
again,
suppling.
It's your games, right? So all them games, like, that's what, to where see, here's the thing is I can take a hold of this, as in there was a video that I did on the weekend to where she got a little shitty, and when I took a hold of that, it settled everything down, because she knows that to get soft on this and to draw it towards me, because then she gets rubbed when she gets close to me, right? So she feels this feel in my hands. They're saying, hey, easy, I'll help you out here, because that's what. See, here's the thing: is them games, you can call them games, but they're challenges. They're things that I challenge them, and it kind of makes them get shitty. But there's a way to get quiet, and for the most part it's look at me or come to me, get that arc going towards me, and that all happens with feel physically but mentally first, right? And then so then you say, then what happens if a person you know, goes to tie something around, they go to get shitty. Did you see me? Like, that wasn't the first time I patted her on the ass. Like, she's been rubbed. I've scratched her underneath the tail. I've rubbed her teats. I've picked her feet up every day, right? There's machinery out there. Them guys are messing. But this isn't the first time back here, right? I get them look like where she'll lift her tail up and wants me in back there scratch, right? So then little things that when I'm doing them maneuvers or whatever, like you say, they go to get a little shit. I'm like, hey, easy, easy, take care.
Right? And it's kind of comforting to them.
That's comforting,
right.
You know. There's a feel between us, right? And that's that same feel that I'm going to get into today when I'm cantering them circles. I'm going to be running her up into some reins, and I need her to get a little bit softer than yesterday. And if I don't have that mental feel between the two of us, it ain't happening. And then you want to get forceful and make it happen, good luck.
Right.
And then you want to take them to a sport and you want them to stay in the box. Well, you nod for a steer just a little bit longer and they do that. It all starts right here. I'm creating that mental feel. Then I'm going to carry that mental feel up into the physical feel. But without a good mental feel, just like you said, they go to get shitty. And you go to take a hold, and they just rear back and pull on your hands, right, and flip. Yeah, it's not good. The big rein, right? Big rein on the ground. Halter shank. 2, 3, 4. Think that's the first time I've rubbed her on the head? No. I've been rubbed on the head and the ground. See my foot here, how it can make that soft? Because that's what makes it soft when I get cantering around here. Right? And then what? See then? So then there's maybe some that kind of come in a little bit late and don't understand that this is where I'm going. I want that someday. So here's the big talk today, guys, that I want you to get. I'm driving them around on a loose rein, and I'm building a round pen out here by pulling them through the middle whenever I feel her lean at the house over there, or her home, that outside shoulder, right, is going to lean. And I pull her through the middle, and I say through the bullseye, right? Like there's a dartboard, and if I'm going to the left, I need to make enough of an impression on them shoulders that she gets pulled all the way through the middle of the bullseye, right? So I'm building that round pin. So then on the other side, she's going to want to fall in to the house. So then I'm going to lift this rein up like that and keep driving her forward until she gets soft, and that stands the inside up. So think of it. The wording was I'm building a round pen. So think about when you start your colts. Where does everybody want to start them? They want to start them in the round pen because there's a wall there, and some of them, goofballs, want to build the wall so they can't see out. So then all their attention is focused in. So when you do something to them, it sinks in to their brain because you're not fighting with them trying to get away because there's a wall there. Or their mind getting away because there's a wall there. So some of you are going to say, well, what does he mean by some people with the big wall and they don't want them looking out? I would rather go through having them look out and thinking about the outside thing while I'm in the round pen, because I'm really not wanting the wall. I don't start mine in a round pen. I go out. So here's the thing. Now when I'm riding them, that's what I'm building this round pen, building this wall, so then I can pull and drive them into my reins and get them soft in the body and in the mouth on the reins, because their brain is sick of trying to go home, right? When they're trying to go home and you're trying to soften stuff, good luck. Or if like I see them trainers looking down, going like this the whole time, you are crying wolf. That means nothing. In order for them to get this in the mind, the reins are loose, you pick something up, you make a maneuver, and you let it go, and it sinks in. Because you were loose, you picked up, now you're tight, now they respond to getting off of pressure, because that's what's been happening on the ground, right? They're getting off of pressure, and then they get soft, right? In the body. But it all started with this round pen I built. First I build this round pen, and then I can start I can get more, they're the refinement part. They're the refinement part, right? So I'm gonna wanna get these hands eventually from being wide to narrow to being in one hand, right? So again, so here's the other thing. You need to be driving them around here to where it's like if your feet come off, that they stop without pulling on the reins. As I said this before, Cody O and Fred Whitfield and Joe Beaver and them guys, them horses when they're riding to rope a calf, they are cinched down. You can't tell it, but when that rope goes out of them guys' hands and that body even begins to do this, them horses are in the ground. It's over. And that's why it happens so quick. If they trickle a little bit, they're gonna be longer, right? So, time-wise. So again, it's even in your barrel racing. Like the horses that are clocking are horses that are running machines, and they're rating down and turning that barrel on a dime and going to the next barrel. So it's like there's no overshooting the barrels for the most part. Yes, there's some, but for the most part, you're doing everything to get them to that spot, and then you let them make the turn. So you've got to teach these horses to where you've got to push them in order to make them athletic. If they're trying to run away from you all the time and you're holding them, it ain't gonna happen. All right, so that's when you see me going around here, I'm humping them along here, right? So then if I even breathe, whoa, I mean, they start to stop, right? I'll add the reins in later, but that's how we start to get them broke, is that you're almost teaching them to be lazy, so you have to push them a little bit. If they're always trying to get away from you and you're hanging on to them, you're desensitizing them to the bridle, so when you do need to pull, they just... And once horses learn that they can lean on that bridle, you can sugarcoat it for a long time until you actually get to a competition and you need them to slow down or make a maneuver and you go to pull. With speed, you get this. So don't show them how to lean. The moral of that story is, do not show them that they can lean on that bridle and get away with it right from day one. That's why I'm seducing everything into them, keeping them quiet, keeping them moving forward, just kind of pull and let go, pull and let go. I don't want them to know that they can do that, because I'm in a bind if that's what's gonna happen later on for money, right? Okay, so I'm looking for that to be a little better than yesterday, and it was. So this little deal here, I've said this before to guys, just so you guys know, here's another great thing about today's video, that I remember things after I've shut it off from the last time. So this little thing that I'm doing here is hey, get quiet, get soft in the mind, get soft in the bridle. So when you're cantering around there and things get a little bit wild, pull them down, hold her